Hi, I'm Hazel. It is almost Saturday, so it's time for a new vlog. Check out my shelf! So I'm still waiting on the canvases to arrive from the Blizzard Gear store. There's gonna be 3 more canvases to go. I'll probably scooch the WoW one, like, that way, and then have the other 3 kind of going towards the shelf. But I got a shelf! I went to IKEA last weekend and thought way too long about what kind of shelf I wanted for all my plushies, because they looked a little bit silly just on the floor. But we picked out a shelf, we got it home, got it up the stairs, it's heavy, and then I had to actually get it built. So it was a pretty fun IKEA adventure. Building the shelf was way harder than building an IKEA shelf should have been, mostly because that shelf is mostly, there's screws on the top and the bottom, but the rest of it is pretty much entirely held by dowels, and it wants you to like hammer everything together. And it was like, I was putting it together at like 8 o'clock at night, so not super late, but not the middle of the afternoon either. And there's people below me, and there's also people on the other side of that wall, and I was like, I really don't want to just be like hammering away for an hour here. So I tried to like press the shelf together with my strength, and as you can tell, I don't have a whole lot of that to go around. So anyways, it was quite an effort. But we eventually got the shelf together, and they look so much better on it. I'm so happy. I can't wait for the canvases to get here so I can really just like bullying out this office. And for whatever reason, I feel inspired to work harder because they're all watching me now. Like before they were just hanging out having like a party by themselves on the floor, but like now they're like in a plushie stadium just like watching everything I do. So it's been good. This afternoon, they are going to be testing the Trial of Style on the PTR. It is an in-game transmog competition that I think you do with 5 or 6 people. You get to like pick an outfit to like match a theme out of transmog that your character knows, and then people like vote on which one's the best. I can't wait to try it out. I'm going to try and get lots of footage this afternoon. It's being tested between 2 and 4, so I'm probably going to be in there for the first hour, trying to get as much footage as I can, and then of course 3 to 5 is going to be our regular stream. I'm really excited about that. If you win, or depending on how you placed, you get varying amounts of these transmog tokens that I think you can use to buy special mog. I don't know what the mog looks like yet, but I can't wait to find out. And of course, as soon as I know, you'll know, because I'll put together videos and all that good stuff. I haven't gone super hard in transmog lately because I'm such a little stubby little gnome that's in shadow form. Like, it's very hard to see what gear I'm wearing. But man, are they making me want to go farm some transmog. My best tip for anybody that is going through old raids lately to get transmog together, maybe for the Trial of Style or just in general, bring some bear tartar. It is a food that they added in Legion that makes you sprint after you kill an enemy. It does not have to be a max level enemy. It makes the Immersius fight in Siege of Orgrimmar way better, because every time you kill an ooze, you get a sprint. So you can actually like get most of them as opposed to doing that fight over like 15 phases. So yeah, bear tartar if you're farming old transmog. And I will be taking a look at the Trial of Style this afternoon. Other things coming at 7.25, a lot of class changes. Some classes are getting more reworked than others. I honestly mostly look at changes for my class, and I haven't seen a whole lot for Shadow Priest yet. I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on with everything. I'm kind of in wait-and-see mode. They always liked throwing out like these really crazy changes early on in the PTR, and they're all like, well, we're just seeing what sticks, and we're going to iterate on this and sort of like get it smoothed out. And sometimes they do that, and sometimes they just like leave it, and then there's like these crazy changes that go live in the patch. So I'm kind of waiting to see what goes on. But I know some classes that have been struggling, like Fire Mages, for example. They're getting some changes, and there's going to be like a Disc Priest rework, just to try and make things a little bit smoother. Based on the info we have available, I have a strong date prediction of the 7.25 date. I think it's going to be in June, because I think it's going to launch right along with the Tomb of Sargeras. And they said Tomb of Sargeras was going to be 12 weeks after... Well, no, they didn't say. They said the class campaign. They said the Broken Shore campaign was going to be 12 weeks after the release of 7.2, and I think that that's going to be a good pick for the Tomb of Sargeras opening as well. I think that the Broken Shore campaign is going to lead up to the Tomb of Sargeras opening, kind of like Insurrection led up to the opening of the Nighthold. So I think we're going to be getting the new raid and 7.25 in June. We don't know that yet, but I think it's pretty likely. In WoW, I picked up my .48 this morning on my artifact weapon. We still got a few more to go for Concordance of Legion Fall. For whatever reason, I'm really excited about it. I don't know why. It's not like there's really much I can do in my rotation to, like, hold damage for when you have a proc up. Like, maybe if I know I'm gonna get a proc soon, I can try and hold Void Torrent for it, but I'm not really sure. But anyways, I've been really enjoying the artifact power grind, and that spreadsheet that I did a video on earlier this week has still been motivating me, because it's just so much fun to try and stay on top, or like to try and beat somebody who plays like a similar amount as you. So that's been pretty good. Last week's viewer raid was really fun, and that went really well. This afternoon I want to do the same thing, but with Emerald Nightmare instead. I want to start with Heroic Emerald Nightmare and see how much of that we can get through with like a stream raid. I think that'll be kind of fun. It'll be like some good artifact power. I'm going to be doing normal Nighthold with my guild, I think, after research comes in on Saturday night. So we're gonna do Emerald Nightmare on stream today, and if we have extra time, we can do like the normal as well, or maybe Trial of Valor, like all those old raids. It's like okay, artifact power, depends on how lucky you get, but the legendary chance, I swear by it. Ever since I've started doing all of the raids every week, a whole world tour of all of the Mythic Zero dungeons, and then like, you know, my random daily heroic and emissary and whatever. I've been getting a legendary about every other week with me doing everything, and then like a couple Mythic Plus on top of that. So I've been averaging legendary every 2 weeks, and there's only 3 left, and I need them because 2 of those are really good. I'm still missing Safuz, I'm still missing the Shadow Priest belt, and I would really like to have both of them to play with. I'm not too picky about the last one I don't have is like the Twins Painful Touch. It's like the dot spreading ring. I'll definitely play around with that in Mythic Plus, but I don't know how good it actually is. Other stream related stuff, we reached on Patreon, thank you guys so much. We reached the $200 goal for baking streams, so those are going to be officially starting next month, 1 baking stream per month. I want to do a test run, I think, a little sooner than that, because I have ingredients for these cookies in my kitchen, and I would like to eat cookies, but I can't bring myself to bake them not on stream, because then I would have to get more stuff, and it takes us like a while to go through like a whole batch of cookies because there's only 2 of us. So I might do an earlier one. I don't know when that would be. It'd be kind of like a test stream to sort of figure out where the best place to put like my camera is and how to get the mic set up. Sort of like a getting everything figured out run, so that when I actually do a proper one, like the Patreon one in May, that I've got things a little bit more settled down. I'm thinking about adding another step of Patreon goal at 300 to have an extra baking stream every month, 2 streams a month instead of 1, but I want to like do one first to see what it actually involves and how much time this takes, so that I don't get myself in over my head with something that I can't keep up with. Other personal stuff, the weather is finally starting to get nicer here in Oregon. It's been raining a lot, but we're getting a couple sunny days. It's really sunny out today actually, and I got bitten by the gardening bug. My husband brought me home a tree. I'm not entirely sure what led to it, but he brings home this little baby tree, and he's like, honey, you like trees, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I do like trees. So I've got this little baby spruce, and then like we went to get potting soil for the baby tree. And then after I'd finished planting the tree, I'm like, man, I have a large bag of potting soil left over. What else can I grow here? I've got some extra flowers planted. I've got some pepper seeds started on a little seed mat back there, because apparently I'm doing peppers again this year. I can't stop myself. It's too much fun. I am so excited waiting for seeds to sprout every year that I start doing gardening, and I just have like a little balcony. One day I'm gonna go crazy garden lady and just like, it's not even going to be a particularly well-designed garden. There's just going to be like yellow flowers here and purple flowers there, and just like, this is the tomato land, and it's just going to be, you know, whatever I want. I can't wait. So, questions from this week. Patrick asks, what pet type do you think will be in the Dead Mines? No Morrigan isn't a hard guess after all. True. So, pet types, I think the Dead Mines is going to be a little bit more varied. I think it's going to be a lot of flying pets, mostly parrots. I feel like we're going to fight a lot of parrots. I would not be surprised to see some aquatic pets, because, you know, there's like some water around the boat. Maybe we get like some fish or some crabs. I think crabs would be a good pick. So parrots and crabs. And then maybe like some rock elementals, because it's in a mine. I don't really know. I can't wait to take a look at that. You have to, on the PTR, have completed the Wailing Caverns before you can go do the Dead Mines thing, and it doesn't copy over my live account data properly, so I'm gonna have to do the Wailing Caverns again on the PTR. So I think sometime this weekend I'm gonna try and get through the prerequisite stuff so I can actually take a look at the Dead Mines. But yeah, I'm thinking parrots and crabs. Parrots and crabs for sure, but who knows? Kayla asks, any thoughts on the changes to YouTube payments? It seems to add a lot of importance to Patreon for smaller channels. Proud Hazel patron here. So thank you, Kayla. So the changes to YouTube payments, they affect different people differently based on what content they have. I haven't been hit too hard just because most of my videos are really innocuous. Like, there is very little offensive content in my videos for advertisers to really get their panties in a twist about. So my videos haven't been hit too hard, but there's nothing to say that a change to the algorithm or something else that they randomly implement with as much suddenness as this couldn't do the same thing. So it's really hard to predict the future, and it's definitely a lot smarter to try and add value to the Patreon system so that the income comes from there as opposed to relying on the ad views, because the AdSense revenue is just a gamble. You have very little idea as to what that's actually going to be. So Patreon and other forms of crowdsourcing like merchandise and whatever are definitely a lot more important for smaller creators. So yeah, while I haven't been heavily personally affected by the changes, it's definitely a smart move to try and add value to different revenue streams to try and stay afloat, because it would really suck if one day they change the algorithm and all of a sudden my income's cut off and I have to just like quit making videos and go get an actual job. That would be unfortunate. And it's a definite possibility. So that's why I'm doing my best to come up with extra stuff to give my patrons, to try and incentivize more people to check out the Patreon, because it is massively important to me continuing to do this every day. The Troll Shaman asks, why the hell do you bother PTR while 7.2 is up and play it again when 7.25 is live? So I understand your question. Before making videos, never really touched the PTR. One, it was like spoilers. I was like, I don't want to know what's going to happen before it happens. Secondly, obviously any progress that you make on the PTR is not reflected in live, so it's kind of like you're wasting your time. But the reason that I play the PTR is to make videos so that I can share them with you guys and people can have a better understanding of what's coming in the PTR. If I didn't make videos, I probably wouldn't touch it. Although there are some people that I think play exclusively the PTR because it's free. I don't think you need to have a WoW sub in order to play the PTR. So there's people that like really want to play WoW, but they can't get the gold together for a token, or they can't, and they don't want to pay the sub fee. They'll just play the PTR, which seems incredibly masochistic to me because the PTR goes down all the time, has horrible lag issues, really long loading screens. And obviously every now and then everything just gets cleared and deleted. So that seems like a weird call. But yeah, the only reason I'm on the PTR is to make videos. And then Brian asks, did you say at some point in the last few weeks that you stream on YouTube? Where do I go on your site to watch that? Does it just pop up on your main page, or do you warn everyone when you will start a stream? So the weekly Friday live streams are at a set time. They are at the same time every single week, so you can just look up what the time is for reference. It is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time on Fridays. So that's the same time every week. I should technically tweet when I'm going live. I often forget. And then as far as I know, you can either go to gaming.youtube.com/Hazelnuttygames, or you can just go to my regular page and there should be a link. There should be a live now button that you can click to go right through to the stream. Same thing when the bacon streams go live, you can just go to the main page and it should link you right through to the live stream. But yeah, I should really try and be better about tweeting when I go live. I always forget. That has been my week. If any of you have any questions you would like answered on a vlog, just leave them as comments on the most recent vlogs. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!